So let's get into the science of the Moses method.
That's
a little
where I
bit.
was hoping
Let's
you were
do
going with
this.
that.
Let's do this. So the RMR, the resting metabolic rate. Explain to me how that works, Anthony. Why is that important?
It's majorly important because we can't see what's happening inside of the body from the outside unless we go and get a muscle biopsy, right?
Right.
So the RMR is a resting exchange ratio, okay? So what it does, the machine, it allows us to see how many calories you're burning at rest, and it also shows us how much carbon versus oxygen that you're excreting and what you're doing in your body. And usually if your carbon levels are higher, chances are you're probably having a hard time losing fat. What the Moses method allows us to do is tap into your metabolism, no matter who you are, and crack it.
Wow, so you're talking about gauging these results against standards and principles for how the cell is supposed to react.
Absolutely.
And interact with food, exercise, the whole nine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not trying to, you know, flip it. I did 4 shows this summer, and I was so lean, I think I had about 15 pounds of fat on me, and I had a lot of gas left. I didn't do any cardio because I tore my meniscus. I stayed lean all summer, and I quit working out for 5 months because being fit is more than what's on the outside. And my cells were healthy, I felt good. It wasn't that I didn't want to work out and that I was lazy. I was able to focus on my business and just other things. And then it was time to work out again, I was back to be able to do it.
Wow, so you took time off and you were able to stay in shape for the most part.
For the most part. I lost a little bit, but having a method, it's not, oh, I fell off, let me go real hard. It's, no, I fell off, let me take off where I left off.
Wow.
And that's something that's a lifestyle.
You also mentioned something, you were talking about oxygen. You were talking about oxygenation and bringing oxygen into the cell that obviously helps us to detoxify. And I believe that you're referring to, in understanding those zones, you're referring to the VO2 Max. Describe that to me. I mean, why is that so important for the client as a major aspect of the Moses method?
To me, the VO2 Max is the most important thing for any trainer, any doctor, any chiropractor, anyone that's in the health industry should understand what VO2 Max is for and what it's actually doing. Because what it's doing is showing what our body is doing when it's actually moving. Because we know if our bodies don't move, it dies, right?
Right.
If it moves and it's hurting itself, that's no good either. And that's why I think a lot of people are getting out here with these trainers and that aren't educated.
Absolutely.
You know, even the educated ones.
Well, absolutely. As I mean, so you've shared these averages with me before, just looking at where the state of obesity was so many years ago and even where it is now.
Grown.
It's grown. And looking at that, especially with the growth of what's one of the fastest growing industries in the world, you would think that
it would be coming down very fast.
Right.
But what's happened is mental health has went up and obesity is still climbing up because everyone's trying to make the buck. I'm not trying to rhyme, guys. That's the truth. You know, with the Moses method, it's a way of life.
Wow.
It's a way of life, man.
Yeah, and it seems to me like, especially with the climbing rates and obesity, it's a way that we need to adopt here.
Amen. That's why we're here.
Yes, sir. So Anthony, we also have another part of the process, which is the Fit 3D scan. Can you describe that to me? Why would a client need to do that?
I want to go back to the VO2.
Absolutely.
You know, the reason we do the VO2 is so that when we train our clients, we know where their aerobic threshold is. If you go over your aerobic threshold, all you're doing is making your body acidic unless you already have a built aerobic system. So that's the reason you do the VO2. I wanted to clarify that.
Yes, no,
so
thank you. Thank you so much, and I think that's so important.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
so important.
You want to have a high VO2, but in actuality, with today's, where we are in this world,
yes,
with all the diseases and the food and the oceans and everything else, carbon is a big factor. And so you want to train in those zones where you can actually get rid of that carbon.
Yes.
And that's part of what the Moses method is. And what's great about it is no two bodies are the same.
Right.
So when you do a VO2 Max test, it's going to be different.
Yeah. So basically training smarter, not harder.
Absolutely. Truly training smarter and not harder.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for
Yes,
clarifying.
and as far as the
that.
Fit 3D, getting back to that one, it shows it shows our balance. You know, where the client, if their balance is off, we can work on that, and we'll get to that. We're gonna talk about the DEXA scan because it shows left to right muscle mass. So we kind of use the Fit 3D and the DEXA scan kind of simultaneously together.
Yeah, we can go into that. That was the next thing I was going to ask you
Yeah, we
about,
kind of
the
use them
DEXA
together
scan.
because with the Fit 3D, we can see the circumference measurements.
Okay.
With the DEXA scan, we can see how much lean mass, how much fat mass, how much subcutaneous fat, and how much visceral fat.
Wow. So why do you feel that a person would need to know that? Because some people out there, they think, well, fat is fat and I just need to lose fat. You know, they pinching at their bodies and I just want to lose this. I want to lose this spare tire. Why do I need to know all these different types of fats? Like, what's the difference between subcutaneous fat and visceral fat?